smart meters?
Yeah, good afternoon. Well, it's a mixture of everything because we are kind of in this all together, I suppose. There's an issue around obviously getting supply in terms of making sure we've got adequate water that we take from our rivers and our reservoirs. And then it's very much around making sure that we distribute it really efficiently, i.e. we don't lose a lot of that water along the way in it getting to the consumer. And then once we're on the consumer premises, it's again about looking at, well, does that water get leaked, maybe say through a leaky loo or other type of device or a tap. And of course, it's about trying to help customers understand how they consume and use water as well and potentially reduce their overall consumption. So metering, and smart metering particularly, provides the means to transmit data of how much water you're using from the supply side right through to the Thames Water Company or Anglian or whoever it might be.
Does it mean that the onus, as I say, is on the consumer, the customer at home, not on the public utility, the water company, Victorian infrastructure where the water's leaking, as we've just seen in Islington, left, right and centre, and yet the technology is actually focused on the customer at home?
It's a combination of things. So around 25% or so of the water that is actually leaked throughout the entire network is on the consumer side. So that does mean 75% or so of it is leaked within the supply side from the water company. But it's really important that a meter is put in place so that you can assess how much water is actually being consumed, i.e. makes it to the house, and then how much is actually entering into a particular area from the supply side. And if you look at the difference, you can then assess how much water is actually being lost in the supply network and how much of it is actually being lost in the consumer side. So it really is a combination of both consumer and water company, but the majority is lost in the supply side, yes.
OK. And you think that every home in Britain should have this technology now, much as we're getting with electricity, smart meters, for instance?
Well, I think, in terms of smart meters, I don't set the policy or here at Arqiva, but what it does do, and if you put a meter in, it shows that the overall consumption reduces by about 16 to 18%, which is a combination of being able to identify leaks where they occur. And also just the mere fact that you have a meter generally means that you're a bit more wary about what you're actually consuming.
Right.
And the really important thing is that a meter itself can identify if there's what's called a continuous flow of water, say at quiet times between, say, 1 and 5 a.m. And that would indicate that you might well have, say, a leaky loo. And a leaky loo loses about 120,000 litres or so. That's 1,200 bath loads every year.